This is In Other News. Another Friday means another chance to laugh at the hilarious, humorous, and even serious matters in the news this week. Emmanuel Linonda is right here with me, and for the next hour we will be going through the news that has been within the news this week. Inonda, what's up?
The lights, maybe
what
the
else?
sky outside, the grill, the everything.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the show is up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Remember our social media handles: TV47 Kenya on Facebook, TV47 KE on Twitter. You can also call us live as well. The numbers are on the bottom right of your screen. You can SMS as well. You have no excuse. All platforms are here. And to begin us off tonight, Emmanuel Linonda, the last time we were here, we were pregnant with anticipation, We were really anxious and hoping that the president would actually reopen the country, which he did. I don't know if you were surprised, Now the virus is free in the air.
I was not surprised because the president will lock the country again, now total lockdown in the next few. So I'm not surprised. You understand that, Tracy, when people are anticipating for the reopening of the country, I thought it will be something big. Many people will celebrate, but people didn't celebrate. I wish he opened earlier, so many people would have celebrated. So I don't think what you saw that day, or what you thought could have happened, or what you are anticipating after the reopening, because I know right now it could be somewhere else. If it was not in Other News, ungekuwa so many miles away from here.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I caught the fever that was with Kenyans.
What is many? What is many?
What do you mean?
Many.
What?
Many.
Many what?
Many. What is the meaning of many?
Many, a lot.
A lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
More than one. From here to your place are many miles. So the same thing. It's more
I don't know what we have been doing. Inanda, you see, the thing has been, as Kenyans, we were really expecting, that we will reopen and all. And then now freedom is here, and we have not seen people travel as much as we thought they might for the last 4 days that the borders, the inter-county borders have been opened. What have we been doing, Emmanuel, with these 4 days of freedom that we have had?
You see, the 4 days, it caught people by surprise. First of all, many people are unemployed, they lost their jobs. They don't have money to travel up country. You see, where we normally travel with, let's say, 1,000 shillings or 1,500, it's close to 4,000 right now. Bei and Ndege. And I don't think these people will afford. We've seen so many of them just in the bus stops. They have nothing. They have nothing. They don't have extra fare. Yet some of them had even sold their household equipments just to cater for the fare to their
Emmanuel, does this mean we are I don't know, keyboard warriors in this country, Because if we are really struggling and hoping and
those people are
prompting
struggling.
the president to reopen, and then we are just seated in Nairobi like our borders are still closed.
Those people are struggling. Those people are typing, the keyboard warriors. They are not in any hurry to go home.
Why?
Their home is online. You understand? Their home is online.
I see.
Once you wake up in the morning, you sit on your bed, on your chair, your couch, then you start tweeting the online stuff. That's where their job is. But people who really wanted to go home, there's a different class. Different class. Let's wait for maybe Mondays when most of the bus companies, matatu companies will have complied with the COVID rules to start ferrying passengers. That's when you will see a lot of movement. But even before that, we've seen people sneaking to their rural homes. So I don't know why there's no mass traveling.
Maybe it's because we've been sneaking anyway, so it doesn't matter. People who wanted to go there, they actually already went to their rural homes, You see, what really caught my eye with the president's order to reopen the borders is the fact that Kenyans were banned from EU travel, yet on August, I think the 1st, international flights will start coming into the country. So I'm thinking, are these flights to nowhere? You can fly out of the country, but the European Union does not want you around their countries, Where do you think, what should be our destinations if we were to travel anyway?
If you check the live flight radar, you'll find that many of these planes are in Africa, that are coming in Africa and outside, they are going to the Middle East and China. So even if the EU bans us, people will still go to the East, go to the Chinese, wherever other stuff. So banning us, you see, it does not. If you compare Kenya and Europe, which country or continent was affected most?
I think
them.
yeah.
So maybe they are banning us not to go and get infected down there.
I see. I like your skewed thinking, eh?
But these people, you see, when we have a bomb blast here in Nairobi, a grenade attack, a terrorist attack, they'll give travel advisory.
Yeah.
Don't go to Kenya. It's a very dangerous country. It's a hotbed of terrorists. But when someone kills hundreds of people in their countries, or a very big terrorist attacks in their countries happens, they start saying, okay, let's stand with Paris, let's stand with London, let's stand with whatever. But when it comes to Kenya or any African country, they don't stand with us. They want people to come from our country. So banning us from flying to the EU when the airports are resuming on 1st August, the international airports, then it means that people will be going where they are wanted.
All right.
Where they're wanted.
Okay.
Ule mwenye atatukaribisha, that's where people will be going. Yeah, just wait and see.
You know, Emmanuel, now all this excitement aside, yeah, this race sense of myself on there, this deep is about to hit the fan because we have been allowed to move within the country, but now this means the risk of catching the virus for people is at an all-time high, yeah? The numbers, as we have seen even in the recent past, 400 and what, Emmanuel?
477
has been the highest. So how do we even protect ourselves from this? The economy, the country is up and running. So is the virus.
You see, these numbers were there. First of all, when this thing started early in March, people are expecting mass death, the ICUs will be congested, hospitals, the stadiums will be converted into hospitals, the dormitories in high schools will be converted, will be full of patients of COVID, but it's not the way the people thought. So even bringing us 477 or 473 numbers out of a sample of 4,000 is the same as giving us 50 people out of a sample of 1,000 or 1,500. So the numbers won't scare people. People are, at least they're trying to be careful. You see, people are trying to be careful.
No, Emmanuel, we have been with you out here. Actually today, please do not.
The care I'm talking about.
To Kenyans, we are not wearing masks, we are not sanitizing. What do you mean we are being careful?
People are wearing chin guards.
Yeah, exactly.
So
now what happens if we have the country, our borders have been reopened, and then now we're just being careless as we were used to, yeah?
No, people are not careless. Let's assume they're careless.
Emmanuel,
you see,
wearing your mask as a chin guard is not carelessness to you.
But you see, our leaders, let's start with the Uhuru Kenyatta. Have you seen him?
No, we will not start with Uhuru Kenyatta because Emmanuel.
Okay, let's start with the Ministry of Health.
No, I don't know, let's start there, and this is why. The fact that people who are in the lower cadres of this economic sector, yeah, are the people at risk the most, and that's why we have seen the virus really spreading really fast in Kibra, in Kawangware, and other informal settlements.
But it's also in Parliament and State House.
Yeah?
It's also in Parliament and State House.
Well,
the numbers in Kibra, Kawangware, and Isli stopped. Ukashangaa kwani wameisha.
No.
So the way this activity is being conducted, the COVID testing and all that stuff, it's not being taken seriously because we've had some rumors coming from inside the government, inside KEMRI, about these numbers. KEMRI told us we have close to 2 million. I think right now there are around 3 or 5 million since people have been traveling, interacting with this. This disease, it's here to stay with us. So we should learn how to stay with it and stop all the panic. Because the more you panic, it's the panic that will kill people, not the disease itself.
Emmanuel, this is why we will not stop, and this is why we are panicking. Today, the country lost the first doctor to COVID-19. How much more real can it get for you to start believing that this pandemic is...
If a doctor can die, then it means a doctor who is very protected, who takes a lot of care, mask, all the PPs, the best PPs ever, can die, then a common mwananchi out there is still surviving, then it tells you that it will depend with just how your immune is. And you know, these people who are low class, they have got good immune because they are used to tough conditions, hard conditions. But a doctor dying, okay, is a sad state of affair. Yeah, can you say that they are not being protected enough since they are the ones who are dealing with these positive cases? You cannot say that, but then again, you see, sometimes, let me not mention it, but sometimes...
You know, Emmanuel, it's the beliefs of Kenyans like you, yeah, that are causing our CS Mutahi Kagwe to come out and say he does not know a guy by the name Robert Murathe. I don't know who that is, yeah. But the man in question is actually Robert Burale, and Kenyans have been bashing him online, trying to say that he's not actually infected with COVID-19. And it begs the question, do we not believe that this virus is real? Until we catch it ourselves, that is when we will accept that COVID-19 is real.
You see, the sins that we commit when we are, okay, our history, most people tend to use our history to judge or define our future. Which means this particular person that Mutai has denied several times, he doesn't know him and he doesn't remember. Even if you remind him, he'll forget in the next minute. He has a history. People change. People don't remain the way they are forever. People change. You might have been someone different, but in the future, you also change to be a better or a worse person. So this particular person that Mutai was talking about, people have bashed him. They're saying, okay, you cannot be in ICU dressed this way, this way,
but
this way, that way.
But we have seen people in other countries, especially in the West, in ICUs, dressed in casual wear, and just speaking and giving interviews from their hospital beds.
Palipo na moshi, hapakosi moto.
So, pia wewe?
No, sio pia mimi. I'm just asking myself, where did these rumors generate from? Because if you see some of his friends, past friends, they're not good friends. So people still believe that these friends, this guy has not changed, and it's high time that he
I feel Emmanuel, yeah. If,
even
assuming, even assuming that he actually didn't contract COVID, what he's doing is a good thing because he's actually raising awareness for the disease, yeah. So
but
quick recovery to him.
Kenyan, let me tell you, a Kenyan, once he realizes that it's not true, he'll take care. He won't even take a little care of himself. Ataenda hivyo, sema no, this thing wanatanganya never exists, doesn't exist. So I don't think there's a need of trying to scare people because Kenyans si wale watu kwa scare. Ukimwambia hii shimo iko na nyoka, ataenda pale na kijiti,
atachungulia kwanza huyo.
Just to make sure kama kuna nyoka, he'll try to pursue the hole to see what is inside.
Right,
so I don't think Kenyans are at that level of trying to scare them. You remember when Brian and Brenda recovered?
Yeah.
Do you remember the bashment they received from the Kenyans?
I know, I do.
Then the Kenyans believed, okay, this thing is not real, it's not that tough the way they are being said.
Yeah.
It's all about people. Some people are looking for numbers, others are looking for funds, maybe to pay our debts, etc. So you cannot scare a Kenyan by threatening him or just trying to. Kenyan have seen more horror than whatever you're trying to show them.
Well, I really hope that we will be able to take this disease seriously, Manuel, just based on the lessons we've learned from the disease so far. And the fact that for basic education learners, the next 5 months will be a cycle of eat, sleep, repeat, you know. As education, CS Magoha announced that all learners will have to repeat. The academic year 2020, Manuel, what are you going to do with your children for the next 5 months?
The next 5 months, you eat, sleep, drink, sleep, repeat. Just the way of saying it. You see, I saw him trending in the international media, our CS Magoha, for postponing the exam to actually the whole academic year.
To 2021.
2022. 2021.
Yeah,
sorry.
You're in the elections, my brother. we are learning. We have not moved on to politics.
Yeah. So you find that the children will be more idle. I've seen some fake news headlines saying somewhere teachers are idle, but they're not idle. You see, you cannot compare. You need to compare them with the KDF who are in the camps. Because I've seen people saying, should you continue paying teachers because they're not teaching? Then the question is, why are you still paying the defense forces when we are not even at war for close to decades. Let the teachers be paid because they are paid from our taxes. And even this time of COVID, we are still being taxed, unless if you are not being taxed.
All right, I see where you're coming from, Inonda, yeah? But I want us to analyze the reactions of all the stakeholders involved in this education system, yeah?
So the big losers, I think, will be the private sector.
For sure.
For sure, because you find they depend solely on the
school fees, yeah?
On the school fees. And if there's, let's say this year has been wasted, complete waste, meaning next year we'll have, they will be, we still have Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, no admission, no graduation.
You know, Emmanuel, yeah? Even before you look at the private sector and how this is going to hit them, yeah? The reaction of the learners, we saw a story right here on TV47 and the learners were coming out to say this has really affected us. But do you remember you in your heydays when you were in, I don't know, primary school, in high school, a whole year's break?
How I wish.
This is the time you were in school.
This is the time I was in school. How I wish. But then again, you find that we are aging. It's, a year passes, another year is gone. We are no longer in school, but how I wish it was our time in school. You know, there's no student, no pupil, only few pupils or students, especially from private sector and the group of schools who loves what we call staying at home, and sleeping, eating.
I remember, Emmanuel, when we were finishing class 8, yeah, this is, please do not calculate my age from this, yeah, this might be or might not be a true story.
I already know.
You remember that transition period between class 8 and Form 1, yeah? And you had to wait for I don't know, 2-3 months to be able to transition to the next year, yeah? We used to be very excited, but I hope that the learners will keep learning, because not going to school does not necessarily translate into not learning, yeah?
I think it's a blow to the candidates, let's say Form 4 and class 8, who had prepared for their exam.
But you see, Emmanuel,
for some,
they were actually excited because now they have more time to read anyway.
Not really.
No, you had a year to prepare for your final exam. Now you have to. Think about it.
Come next year, assuming, come next year when the exam calendar will be set, they'll tell you, okay, look here, we didn't have enough time to prepare, we were in COVID. That's what they tell you. You see, when you are in Form 4 or Class 8, there are few pupils or candidates who will say, okay, let's try to collect few money and go and buy past papers of these schools, whatever. Let's prepare this. Actually, the exam will come from these papers. Then there are those who are saying, okay, I've given up. Let me just wait for the exam to come and guess. So those who are waiting for guesswork are happy about it. But those who are trying to revise, follow Babuino's lessons on online, there is a blow to them. Actually, they had prepared for it. But then again, education decided, okay.
Inonda, what is really surprising me is that a lot of parents are actually happy that the academic calendar has been pushed.
They were happy until Magoha said, you need to be refunded or to whatever.
That they need to get their money back, yeah, from schools, yeah.
But why should they get their money back when next year is also a year when the school will resume?
Because services were not rendered in Inonda.
But they will be rendered next year. You see, if you refund the money right now, Tracy, the parents will use the money. Then come next year, they'll tell you, okay, look here, we don't have money. There was COVID, there was no jobs. So I think if they had paid, let the money stay in the school accounts and wait for the calendar. Yeah, so education choose. Magoha choose education.
I don't know. There's a saying that says, one bird in hand is worth two in the bush. This parent does not know, even whether they want to continue with their children being in the same school anyway, 5 months from now, yeah? But for the teachers, as you were saying earlier, the fact that many teachers in the private sector might not be able to get pay and all.
Yeah. Do you know why it's contradictory? Because, let's say the president choose economy over the health, isn't it? Now come to the education sector, the CS is choosing health over the education.
It's important. You see, the big thing in Inonda is, when you're younger, when you're a child, you always want to say that you're a year older. But when you, as you grow older, as people get to your age, my age.
When you grow older, that's for ladies, not for the gentlemen.
No. Yeah, but a lot of us want to push our age downwards, yeah? So I don't know, maybe it's a win-win. In Nonda, before we go on a quick break, another big story of the week is that starting this Sunday, churches are set to reopen. The irony is that conspicuously missing will be many bishops who are actually involved in the clamor to try and get these churches reopened. What an irony.
It's ironical. Let's say, you see here in Nairobi, we have this one major pastor who keeps on trending. Let me not mention him because everyone knows him. He's above 58. He's close to 70 years. Then if you go at home, Kule Ushago, most of the missionary churches, the waumini, they are older people, 60 and above. My father is 60 and above. He's more than 58. So he won't be allowed to go to church yet. He has a role to play in that. He's an official of the church.
No, not going to church. And you know what is more surprising in Nonda?
So are you trying to say only pastors and bishops who are above 58, they're the one who will be infected? What about the governors, the people who are walking around? Uru himself
Let me tell you why it hurts them the most in Nonda. This is actually their place of business, all right? It's like someone telling you your house will continue to run as is just without you inside it, yeah?
I don't think so, because the so-called church who are into business, they are led by people who are 50 and below. So they have gained. But the churches who are led by people 60 and above, they are the old churches, the old missionary churches that are there. They've been there since 1900 when the missionaries came in.
Let me tell you in Nonda, yeah?
And those old
Let's talk about this the workability of these modalities, yeah? Just in detail. Healing miracles may be one of the activities that preachers will not get to perform. Because the government says if you have an underlying medical condition, you will not be allowed to go to church. What else do you think is going to be disrupted as the churches try to reopen?
But you see, we've just talked about the old people. Even the children below 15 or 13 years are also not allowed.
Yeah, 13 years. And you know the Bible says, let the children come at me, come to me. Yeah? Now look at all of us sinning. No, we must repent as a country.
Don't go to church. And the same, the same Bible also told us, when there is a time for pandemic, retreat to your houses and pray until it's over. But that is not over. So these priests, these bishops are the ones who are trying to negotiate for the reopening of the churches. But then again, they have been left out. So
you see, even Moses was told, hey, today I'm feeling like preaching. Hallelujah. Send in your sadakas, guys. Call in.
In short, walikuwa wanaomba serikali ifungue makanisa, then serikali ikafungua nusu. Lakini wangeomba Mungu afungue, angefungua 100%.
You know, wamefanyiwa kama Musa, yeah? You will see the promised land from afar, but you will not get there, yeah? And as staunch Catholic, I am really concerned because some of the rituals that we perform in church are not going to continue as we are used to. Have you ever been to a Catholic church in Nonda?
Yes.
Peace of Christ. How do you do that with social distancing and not shaking people's hands? You're like, peace of Christ, or do you got a peace of Christ? How do you?
You just use gestures. You just use gestures.
What?
Yeah, just gestures.
All right.
But then if kama uko na imani ya kutosha, you can go ahead.
Hey, imani pasipo matendo imekufa kaka. And the fact that congregants must leave contacts, yeah? Because of contact tracing, just in the event one person has contracted COVID-19.
That's a joke.
What do you mean it's a joke?
It's a joke. How are you going to trace all these people?
No, then that means when we know that it means you're not in the church register. Because if you're in the church register,
I'm
then
in the
that
church
means...
register. I've traveled home. Yeah, will you follow me home?
No, but everybody who was at the church service that day must leave their contact.
So I'm trying to say these people are so faithful in a way, assuming one or two of them have been found positive of COVID, you'll call the whole congregation that was there, please come to quarantine.
Well, they're called faithfuls in Nonda. Why would you not expect them to be faithful anyway? Let's talk about holy water, yeah? That's another thing that's going to really change. You know what holy water is, yes?
Yes, I do.
I am thinking tutawekewa kwa chupa kila mtu yake kidogo kidogo. the modalities of the reopening of churches is quite a big
I
headache.
think the holy water will be put outside there instead of
But
sanitizing.
if we all dip
Instead of sanitizing, it will be on a tap. So people
okay.
watakuwa na nawa tu na tap as they continue the service.
Okay,
So
okay.
About the holy water, it's catered for.
All right, I see. What about
What's
the fact
remaining?
that receiving Holy Communion? Yeah. Do you first of all, you cannot open your mouth at your priest, yeah, and you must keep the 1 meter distance, yeah. Does the pastor throw? How does it even work?
Now it will require trolleys in church. Yeah, so you'll have to go with a trolley with your gift there, and then the pastor in his PP. Actually, I think the pastor should start putting on the protective gears, the PPAs, just to avoid. But this thing won't work, won't happen. It's just a way of telling people, you know, the president wanted to open the economy. And if he could have opened the economy alone and forget the churches, there could be an uproar. Everyone was just saying, okay, now where do you want us to go? Since we are free to move, my church, so and so and so. So I think it's just a way of trying to caution people to at least be careful, because you cannot follow all these rules. You can't. Even he himself do not follow the constitution 100%. So how do you expect another person who is lower to follow the law that you're putting in place, yet you are not monitoring him, kabisa. So it'll just be there for a few days, just the way the curfew was there for a few days.
All right.
But right now, 11 p.m., people are still walking outside.
And that is so true. It really baffles me every time I walk outside. It's 10, it's
Life
11.
is normal, yeah.
I know. Even some shops are open. Don't ask me where I'm not going to snitch, yeah?
I know, even at my place. Actually, it's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's really shocking, yeah? And the fact that in Nonda, one of the other things that we have been encouraged to do by this government is avoid transactions using hard money, yeah? So we have been encouraged to use M-Pesa. They even waived some of their fees to enable people to transact. Does that mean offertory? Tunatoa, you send your pastor PayPal?
Do you know?
Well,
do you know how many people have debts in their M-Pesa accounts?
I know.
So many. You've seen the statistics. So if you now hata imekuwa ngumu, if you want to send someone money,
But that's a beautiful thing, kwa sababu unaweza fuliza sadaka sasa.
Then itaisha.
Well,
what about next Sunday?
You're planting a seed.
Yeah, what will happen next Sunday? Utaendelea kufuliza.
Well, until.
But I'm glad I've seen some of the matatus have put pay bills in their matatus just to avoid the transaction. So you see, in the matatus, the transport sector, it can be spread very fast using the money.
Yeah.
You get the old note from someone. How many times have you sanitized money? The notes? Just be sincere. 0. Right? Yeah, so that's what's happening. So
Right.
it's just a way of trying to caution people. But let's try to see how we can live with this pandemic since
Right.
it's here and it's
Okay.
not living. Yeah.
All right, Sawa Emmanuel, yeah, I really hope we will be seeing sanity in our religious sectors. I know for a fact that the Muslim community has come out to say that it's not viable to hold a service for 100 people, especially because Jamia Mosque. Is that how you call the mosque that is in the CBD?
Yeah,
It's called Jamia Mosque, yeah?
It's a big mosque, and saying just 100 people with that distance. You see, this thing of 100 people per service, it doesn't make sense, because we have so many big halls here in Nairobi and in Kenya. Have you gone to, let's say, Winners Chapel, South B?
I
It's
haven't.
a very huge church. You'll find 100 people wanakaa tu pale and it's full. So they could say, let them say, observe 1 meter distance and according to the size of your hall or
All
your
right.
church.
Yeah.
Because assuming you have a small church.
The thing, Emmanuel, is when you give out measures like this, yeah, to actually now enforce these things. If we say we will come to your place and measure your size just to ensure we count the number of people who are allowed, and then that leaves a loophole that can be very easily
Imagine you stay
manipulated.
in a slum somewhere, a ghetto, where nyumba zimeshikana, there's not even 1 meter.
Yeah.
From the slum, you go to church, you do 1 meter distance, you come back to There's no social distance in slums. You see, it's not practical.
Yeah.
It's not practical.
I actually agree with you, and I hope that we will be
Let
seeing
the government keep on just reminding Kenyans to sanitize,
stay at home,
to stay
especially,
at home, to be careful with this pandemic,
Yeah.
but not putting on rules that are laughable.
All
These
right,
are laughable.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you call it laughable?
It's laughable.
I hope
A small church that
you
can
know,
hold 50.
Emmanuel, yeah, ultimately we know that the government has our best interests at heart, yeah?
So let me
I
ask-
really hope we will be seeing people stay at home, even if the church is open. Follow your services online. If you cannot follow services online, TV47, Holy Mass from Holy Family
Cathedral,
Basilica, live every Sunday. So you do not have an excuse to go expose yourself to COVID.
Assuming you have a church that has a maximum capacity of 50 people, but then the government saying make sure a church has a minimum of 100.
Of 100, yeah?
How will you arrest that person?
Well, well, at least you could say they were not following the COVID directives given by
But
the
there
government.
are
Yeah?
100.
Yeah.
At least there are 100.
Well,
So it's laughable.
Okay.
Let them come up with better measures
All right.
and stop announcing, just announcing numbers. Today I saw they were in Kilifi. Just they went there to announce
and
the numbers.
they've been moving around, and it just baffles me. You're telling the rest of us to stay put where we are at, but
Yeah. But
I
you are
don't know.
moving, you are not observing social distance, you are not putting on even a chin guard, leave on the mask, the chin guard.
All right, I see.
Mingling, all that stuff. So
all right, okay.
they should
All right.
walk the talk.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100 in Onda,
Exactly.
yeah? And Suleiman Juma says he's watching TV47 live from Malel. Thank you so much for keeping us company. Now, away from Kenya, still within Africa, barely a week in office. And Malawi President Lazarus Chakwera is already making waves. Now, the man unveiled his new cabinet on Wednesday, and his citizens and netizens from across the world in Nunda have actually been on fire. They cannot keep mum about the appointees who have actually been selected by the Malawian president here. Inanda, this man who is a former pastor.
This guy is a former pastor and a former opposition leader.
All right.
And right now, you see, the Malawians are in the streets protesting to someone who is not in office, who has not been in office yet. Whatever he has done is funny. I don't know, it's comedy.
And some of these memes running, yeah, in Nunda are just some of the reactions.
That's the
yeah?
reality. That's the reality. So, Chakwera, the guys want to start demonstrating against Chakwera. The choice they made it twice.
I know, because this was a elections were disputed in 2019.
Yeah.
They were nullified by the courts.
So you decide to appoint your friend. With, your friend is a minister of this docket. Then the wife is a minister of the other docket.
Well, I don't know.
I've seen this funny stuff happen in Kenya, but here in Malawi is too much.
All right, okay.
Yeah, even we've seen the running mate. His running mate in 2019 has been gifted a docket, a ministry, a docket. Then the wife of the running mate has also been gifted a docket in another ministry. So what the pastor did, I don't know if he's following what we read in the Old Testament, if Tracy was a king or a queen. The daughter or the son will be the king, following that footsteps. But I don't think... let's see what happens, because
you know, Emmanuel, the fact that he selected spouses, siblings, in-laws, people who are actually who form a very close circle within the country, and he actually excused his actions by saying, "This is not nepotism. None of these people are related to me anyway." Just shows you how this man can manipulate some of these loopholes. Yeah.
You see, Chakwera. Actually, they are not related to him.
Yeah. So you cannot accuse him of nepotism.
I was watching one of his interviews in the international media. Then I kept on laughing. The way he's responding to question, because he has old guards, people older than him in the cabinet. It's a cabinet of 31 ministers, right?
Yeah.
And then they are at least related, siblings related. Then more than 50% of the cabinet are from his stronghold. Yet when he was campaigning, he said, okay, let's stop all this stuff. This Malawi, a country for everyone. Everyone has a right to everything. And I will be a president who will be able to appoint anyone from the lower angle to the upper angle.
All right.
But if two people, a husband and a wife, are holding two ministries, Then assuming the wife has been suspended from one ministry, now the husband loves to hold an office for her. How will it work?
Well, in Nanda,
When you are at home, what will you be discussing?
I think it is bad for the people of Malawi, but it is good for
What is their choice?
these people who have actually been selected to occupy these offices. Because imagine when you go for family gatherings, you can control the Ministry of Lands, you can control the Ministry of, I don't know, Finance, you can control another different ministry just from your own family gathering.
Just from your own family. Yeah, you see, now the Malawians are more worried about the cabinet and the Chakwera than even COVID-19. Kabisa.
Yeah. And in Nanda,
some was trying to stage the demos to the streets to go and protest. But why are they protesting? Maybe those people are qualified.
Yeah.
Those people are qualified and they let them just do whatever they can do. Let them do. Our president is the son of our first president.
All right, okay.
He was qualified, he was elected, so we shouldn't worry about it. We knew it before doing that.
I actually agree with you, Inonda, yeah? And tonight, remember, is Good Vibes Night.
Yeah.
Now, for the very first time, yeah, Mumbi is right here with us, and she's the new captain of this Good Vibes ship. Mumbi.
Yes, Tracy, how are you?
Good.
You are too kind.
Yeah. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Yes, and we have so much lined up for you tonight, including what Tracy has just mentioned. Good vibes. We'll be looking at the COVID numbers. But right now, let's take a look at some of the stories that our editorial team is working on tonight. A medical doctor is among 8 people who succumbed to COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, even as the country records over 400 new coronavirus cases for the second consecutive day. Also tonight, we tell you of another kind of COVID-19 casualties, tenants who cannot pay house rent due to massive job losses and are now in the cold due to unforgiving landlords. Plus, on Good Vibes tonight, we bring you the wonder story of a shoe shiner who cannot see but is revered by his customers nonetheless. And still on Good Vibes, we show you how a lady in Gong Town is recycling plastic bottles by using them to make furniture. And those are some of the stories we'll be having for you at the top of the hour. So I'll see you then. For now, let's take a short break.
Thank you so much for keeping it TV47. Remember, we are a few minutes to the top of the hour, so we need to rest this ship, yeah, Inonda?
Yeah, this a friend of mine who is a sheikh. It's called Sheikh Abajiru.
Okay.
He's watching, and I think he's one of the affected in the. You see, he's a sheikh, and a sheikh and a bishop. Dini na Karibiana in a
Same WhatsApp.
Same WhatsApp group. So big up to him. Yeah. So what were you saying before we left, or where should you continue from?
I want us to move away from Malawi and come back to this country. Now, after Sirisia MP John Waluke was sentenced and his bail set to close to 10 billion shillings, his wife went online and started a fundraiser for the man convicted of graft. Now, she's decrying abuse and mockery from Kenyans. Still, on the same note, the DPP says he will monitor the sources of the contributions to those who are going to make contributions to this fundraiser to ensure that they are legitimate sources and not proceeds of crime in Nonda. So much to befall one man, though.
You see, whoever is trying to contribute for this particular guy, there is a lot of impunity. And when you cry of corruption, let's try to show it by vitendo. Because Waluke, this case is not a si case ya juzi. It's a long-standing case in court. And there's enough evidence, sufficient evidence, and he was sentenced. He was found guilty of corruption. Then few Kenyans who have been given 200 shillings are coming out to say, what is he being targeted for? He's a corrupt man.
All right.
He should go and rot in jail, wait for his tenure to end. Is it how many years? Close to 60.
67.
Combined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if he behaves well, maybe he can serve 40.
And you know, in Nonda, what baffles me, yeah, is that people are actually bashing the wife. You cannot blame her for trying, yeah. As someone who you love is threatened with, he's facing the reality, might actually go to prison for the rest of his life, yeah.
You know, when, is it Pontius Pilate, when they were about to sacrifice Jesus, the wife came and told Pontius, look here, this particular person, I've had very bad dreams about it, and he's innocent. But on the case of Waluke, instead of the wife coming out and saying, okay, I loved you, but whatever you did is not good. So many people went hungry or died of hunger on the meal that you are supposed to bring. I think you should just serve your term. Hajahukumiwa kinyonga. He can, if he behaves well in prison, yes, he can serve few years, maybe 3 decades or 4 decades. He'll be out. But then again, I think that DPP should narrow in to these people who are trying to raise for him the funds.
I actually agree with it. It will be interesting to see a list here, especially in a country where we say we are trying to fight corruption. We see a list of people who are
supporting corruption.
All right, okay. That will be an interesting thing to see.
So let the DPP work harder and make sure this guy is sentenced.
And give us a proper list if people try to contribute. Give us a proper list
of people who support corruption.
Okay.
Then stop lamenting every now and then corruption. Let the government, let Uhuru be. Don't bother him corruption, because if he sentences anyone with corruption, you are there crying this person. We've had so many scandals. Let me not start mentioning them.
Yeah, I know. I can feel you already getting heated up in Nonda. This is a discussion
some of them we saw
that cannot end. I really hope that as a country we will be able to learn how not to abet corruption. And as we finish this show, a teenager decided to show off her parents' mansion on social media like many other young people do. Now, everything was going just fine until Twitter DCI decided this is too good, and they started digging into her life and her family ties. Then everything just fell apart in Nonda. Are Kenyans jealous, or are we just mad at nothing?
You see, now that's jealous.
Really?
So it's not mad at, you see, that young lady, she was happy about their home. Her daddy worked hard to build such a home, whether it's through corruption or not. Because how many Kenyans can build such a home? You need, even for you to be corrupt, you need to be smart so that you can obtain those.
Nonda, why do you have such double standards tonight? You tell us to shun corruption in one sentence, and then a few seconds later you're telling us corrupt people are smart people who have worked hard. What is going on?
First of all, the Kenyans who are bashing the young ladies are saying this money from corruption. It's nowhere their dad has been convicted of corruption.
I actually agree with you. And that's the difference now between this man and a man like Waluke, who has actually, the court has actually found guilty. So everything else is allegations.
It's not even been mentioned anywhere. So, which means her daddy is a hard-working father who went ahead and built such a good home for them.
6 bedrooms, 4 sitting rooms, lifts,
others have 10.
That is a dream. Oh my God.
Others have 10 of those mansions in different counties here in Kenya. That's just one.
Right.
So the lady should be left alone. You see, this kind of jealousness is what makes us not to grow.
All right.
Because Kenyans are thinking that particular house should belong to them.
All right.
You see, it's one house. Assuming it's been sold, how many money can be dished out to these people who are bashing her?
You know, I think we're just mad because the only thing we can show off is the food on the interwebs. Yeah. Every time we just have a.
She's a young lady who is happy about whatever they have. If it was a house that was obtained
and I would be happy if my child was proud about our home as well. Yeah. So let us stop the bile, Kenyans. Tafadhali. When her parents were working hard, go ask your parents where they were.
You see, these fingers, they are 5, but not all of them are same in height.
For sure, for sure.
All of them are important.
Oh, I agree.
So, tusikae kama all of us want to be tall or short.
Right.
Let's avoid that.
I agree with you, Inonda, and that is all the time that we had today for In Other News. Thank you so much for keeping me and Emmanuel company. Next Friday, pia ni Friday for In Other News.
It's a Friday.
Yeah.
A Friday, a good vibe Friday.
Another Friday will come and
it should be lit. It will start from the top, just like today.
Okay.
And end up on the top.
All right. The Good Vibes crew is here. So guys, do not switch that channel. Utakuwa umejichanga kabisa.
Someone new on the set. So probably. The guys, especially I'm talking to guys, they should tune in.
Inonda. Oh my gosh. Bye guys.
Let me finish.
See you.
The guys should tune in just in case she mentions about something of being not somewhere. In case they don't see a ring on her finger.
Inonda. Oh my God.
We value your feedback. Welcome any comments, queries, or complaints regarding our programming content. You can get in touch with us on 0768095491 or send us a message on 22047. You can also send us a letter on Post Office Box 23